being an aircraft engineer, I was still with things like law, and there was always a formula that told you to use verbal or emotion, and presumably it wouldn't have been such a hit had it simply said for a reaction there's a 90% possibility of an equal opposite reaction.
And your question is?
The question is there a formula that applies temperature to the amount of carbon dioxide in the atmosphere?
Right, just before I answer that, I'll say that the comment you made, I often put it in a slightly different way, which is, have you ever heard a scientist say there's a consensus the sun is going to rise tomorrow morning? And I'll pass that to Tony.
And the question was, is there a direct numerical relationship, algorithm you can use to translate carbon dioxide into temperature?
I think
there is. It was honestly, there's an equation to that, a series of equations that were on my graph. And if you go to my website, you'll find that same graph posted, and you can look it up. But there's a radiative physics series of equations that help calculate that.
You can't say that for 380 parts per million, you will have a Earth temperature of 59.3 degrees. So there's no direct.
You can without feedbacks, but as several of the speakers have said, we don't know all the feedbacks, and once you estimate them, you get a huge uncertainty bar. But the basic relationship, the logarithmic relationship, is indeed a quite simple equation, and it's derived by the IPCC, and it's in their third report.
Yeah, I was just wondering, what is geoengineering, and what effect could it have on the climate?
Right.
Geoengineering is the idea that we can compensate somehow for global warming by doing things like pumping a salt mist up into the air. If we pump enough salty mist up there, we can see clouds, or we can change the weather. We can dump iron in the ocean and get plankton to grow and suck that CO2 down into the ocean. I find them all quite scary, given how little we really know about the big systems. And I think before we mess with doing those kind of things, we ought to understand the systems much better than we can. We need to be at the point where we have models that can predict things.
You want to comment on geoengineering?
Yes, the question. Just so everybody knows, I'm hearing impaired, so I can't hear most of the question. I'll have to repeat them.
The question is, what about geoengineering?
About what?
Geoengineering as a solution to climate. How is it wrong?
You know, I've never even thought about geoengineering. I really can't answer except to say, I think we've got a pretty good plan. Let's not mess with it anymore. Thank you.
David, you mentioned the acidification of the ocean. Channel 7 recently said that the whales in Ningaloo are going to die because there's not going to be any krill left in the ocean because of the acidification. Is that so or not?
No, it's not true at all. Most of the marine organisms you see, the corals and so on, evolved 500 million years ago when CO2 levels were 20 times what they are at the moment. That last photo I showed you of Dover Islands, the pH of that water is 7.3, normal oceanic water is 8.1. Obviously, marine creatures can live at very low pHs.
Directed to Anthony Watts. I don't know if you can hear me, it might have to be on very interested in all your very compelling pictures of those weather stations, but I noticed that 3 weeks ago in a peer-reviewed article in Journal of Research or whatever, there's somebody looked at all the data of those stations, and notwithstanding those sightings, they come to the same conclusion that the temperatures have been rising.
Would you like to comment on the paper in the Journal